I greet you folks. Welcome one more time to another program in the series, Homo Politicus. What we do here is simple. We leave no stone unturned. We leave no turn unstoned. So let's go there. Local government autonomy. Alimosho Council drags Lagos Assembly to court, alleges unlawful interference. You know, the local government as a separate arm of government, as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution, as amended, has its legislative arm that rightly regulates relevant arms. I guess you understand me. Recall that a question of autonomy for local governments had been at issue before now. Former Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State had dismissed it, insisting it was not backed by law. But the Supreme Court of Nigeria, in its July 11, 2024 ruling, affirmed the financial independence of local governments in the country. This means local governments would make decisions and take actions without needing approval from the state governments. Of course, governments would find the decision revolting. A local government in Lagos State, the Alimosho Local Government Council, has dragged the State House of Assembly before a federal high court, Abuja, alleging undue and illegal interference in its activities. The prayer of the council's chairman, Honorable Sulaiman Jalili, is simple: that the State Assembly cannot act as oversight over a democratically elected executive of a local government that has its own democratically elected legislative council. The respondents in the suit include the State Assembly, its Speaker, the State Attorney General, AG, the Inspector General of Police, IGP, the Commissioner of Police, CP, and the Department of State Services, DSS, all in Lagos. And so the coming days would be interesting ones indeed, if you ask me. So one thing to note here is this: an underpinning requirement for a healthy democracy anywhere on the planet is respect for the rule of law. Shall we have a conversation, please? The conversationalists are ready to go, so let's meet and greet them. First is the personable Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile. She is a journalist and national affairs analyst. Dr. Folutile, I greet you. Welcome.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. She's joined by the breezy Cyril Abaku. Cyril Abaku is a broadcaster and communications expert. Cyril, welcome.
I'm glad to be here, Mr. Jones. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, gentlemen, as gentlemen of the Fourth Estate, our business is to mold opinion based on what's before us. Not just financial autonomy for local governments. It begs the question of why did the Constitution, however perilous it might be, make a provision for local governments? First of all, let's even start from
Well, I think we have three arms of government.
Okay.
We have the
as enshrined in
the Constitution. We have the judiciary, we have the legislative, and we have the executive. Now, I think that also goes down to the local government level, where we have the federal government, the state government, as well as the local government administration.
The three
tiers of government.
Because we have talked about the three arms
of government.
Good.
So that's what I'm trying to say, that as we have three arms of government, so do we have the three tiers of government in any democratic setting.
Yeah.
So I think the reason for this is because the local government is expected to be close to the people, because local government is the last tier of government.
Yeah.
And the state, yes, has many local governments under them. Then the federal government has many states.
Might I add that in the United States of America,
Exactly.
local governments are called counties.
Counties, yes.
Yeah.
And if
So there's a provision for that too.
yeah, exactly. In that, which is where we even borrowed our own form of presidential democracy from. Even in other countries that don't even do presidential system of government,
Say like the UK.
like the UK, they still have their local governments, the councils.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for this is just to bring governance close to the people.
And divest state governments of too many responsibilities.
Just as you are divesting the federal government of too many responsibility by creating states. And that is why even in our own local parlance here, we talk about the central government being too powerful. Because when you have a central government that is too powerful, it impacts on the states as well as the local government level. So in essence, what I'm trying to say is that that aspect of governance is essential. It is recognized in the Constitution, and the framers of the Constitution have a reason for putting it there. And a major reason often cited is that to make governance close to the people, and for the people also to be able to benefit maximally.
This is one interesting thing we must add here is the local governments was framed to enjoy its independence, a level of independence.
Exactly, just as the states are framed to also enjoy some levels of independence. That is why you have things that are on the exclusive list of the government, and some are on the concurrent list, and some are on the
residual.
So now the exclusive list of the government will include things like police, security, as we have it in Nigeria, defense, and so all of that,
currency and so on.
Exactly. But the other, the state government, for example, have the right to also make laws for themselves and all of that. And also, even when the federal government makes a law, the state governments have to domesticate
the law.
That is why we have arguments over things like new wages, for example, that the federal government could award a wage of whatever minimum wage, but the states have to go back and also ensure that they have to legislate on it. And now, same things for so many other things. So the same thing goes down to the local government level. So the local governments have also some form of independence, and that is why also the House of Assembly in the state is replicated even at the local government level. That is where you have the councillors and all of that. So I think there are levels.
The councillors are also legislators.
That also legislate over the affairs of the local government. That is why they can also remove the local government chairman, just like your House of Assembly members can remove a speaker or a governor
if they have
yes, exactly. So these are the things. No, the states of assembly cannot effect control over a local government council. According to the Constitution. I think they have their own separation of powers and all of that, the way it's been designed.
And of course, I draw my information from the judgment I cited earlier, the Supreme Court, July 11, 2024. Cyril, how do you weigh in here?
My intervention is basically to start by saying that the whole matter on the table is not only illegal, but it is also immoral because it is purely political. You would imagine that in a civilized, sane society, if you can as much as either...
Cyril, my society is sane and civilized.
Well,
at least we are...
If you can even as much as suspend or impeach or remove somebody from office, it means the person has acted criminally. But I said I didn't read the story well. I didn't hear anywhere the House of Assembly recommended that this chairman, Suleiman Chelili, face criminal prosecution. They stop short of that. Which like saying it's a peer group slap.
Even at that, Cyril, it will not be the place of the state assembly.
I was coming.
Okay.
Coming. But that is only so far as I want to fault the unprocedural intervention of the lawmakers of the state. Now, facing the matter head on, they didn't have the powers, they didn't have the jurisdiction, they didn't have the authority to do what they did, and yet they went ahead to do it. Now, the
makes you wonder if it is deliberate.
but of course it is. They should have known, is it because they are the lawmakers? So they should be the barometer for knowing what direction a nation's jurisprudence is moving. From the day a judgment from the Supreme Court or any court for that matter has been, a determinant judgment has been given, a judgment that is deterministic, that can redirect the direction of law, they ought to know because
It should be binding.
because by the pronouncement of a court, they need to know where what has been written into the law books has been altered, as it were, or has been interpreted by the judiciary. Now, in the matter of that reference, right, this man has now gone to court. In fact, not just the man, himself as jointly with the council itself, have together gone to court to say the action of the lawmakers was illegal, was null and void, had no place in law, and that therefore the Abuja federal court in Abuja should declare it thus and so. We are waiting patiently to see how this plays out. But my personal word is this: we glibly, and excuse my choice of that of the advert, we glibly borrowed democracy from the West. But what we wanted to borrow was the fruit of democracy, not democracy,
Not the practice.
not the practice. Because
But that's curious.
when we saw the Society of Free Men, we saw the fruit of freedom. She was talking about independence. I beg to say that independence, I think she meant to use the word autonomy. Independence is not autonomy. Autonomy is what is being preached here. Autonomy is when you are, and it's like saying you are sovereign.
Yeah.
Autonomy means that you are free. You are entirely to decide to determine your fate. You are not under anybody's appurtenances.
Yeah.
And which so it certainly ought to be.
Sorry. Otherwise, when the Supreme Court said we pronounce financial autonomy
Yes.
for local governments.
Under no condition.
Yeah.
In fact, when you're autonomous, it becomes an aberration to surrender or submit that autonomy to another power.
Yeah.
It becomes a serious, in fact, it becomes sacrilege. But what we're seeing here now is the state lawmakers are just playing politics. And then in the end, the man has gone to court. I hope that this matter is properly adjudicated, because I would not expect a lower court to surreptitiously turn the hand of the Supreme Court. Okay? Some days ago, the court in Abuja ruled that the FIA had no powers to stop and start vehicles on the road.
But Lagos
has said that it's not binding on them. This is what I mean. What is Lagos?
But at that point, is Lagos quarreling with jurisdiction here?
No. Whether they are current with jurisdiction or not, our own democracy, rightly or wrongly, is one in which a government can say that ruling took place in Abuja is not binding on us.
So, jurisdiction.
So the government they are trying to claim from Abuja. Okay, why should we see that? I'm speaking as a dispassionate body. No.
As a layman too.
No. I'm a citizen.
I'm not a lawyer, so.
No. As citizens, there's an act of law that we could know, even if they are speaking ex cathedra. It's fine. But the point is this: Lagos can say this matter is not binding, it's binding on only Abuja. So if you and I are interested in it, we can go to court and say let's look at how the case in Abuja was filed. Didn't Ebola they go to court to say the state government had no power to shut the state down for environmental sanitation? The court said it is true. So until the law is tested, You may not be able to tell. But the point I'm making is that this law is tested with certain parameters. And so if it's God, if it's Assembly now goes up and says that they have the power to sack or suspend a council chairman, we need to know what law they following, which rule book are they citing. And when I'm talking that the young man has also said, no, I don't buy into this. I'm going to go to court to seek interpretation.
Of course, you recall that. Again, let's go back to the July judgment, July 11 judgment. It said also, inter alia, no governor has the right to suspend or, for that matter, sack a local government chairman.
Do you know that in this extant case, after the lawmakers deliberated, and let this even be very clear, if you read the stories, you'll be wondering why are they only suspending? Then later on, the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Local Government Affairs now formally wrote to the deputy chairman, to the vice chairman of the local government area, saying, now you are authorized to step in for your boss. The question I have to ask is because when we argue,
is it a civil matter?
when
It's not a civil service matter. It's not an administrative issue.
when the issue of confiscating presidential jet came up, I said, the Governor Mosu said, Governor Benga Daniel said, this governor, and I said, when they were going to revoke those contracts, didn't they seek legal advice from the Attorney General, Commissioner of Justice, lawyers in the State House? It's the same thing as happening.
And do they listen to?
No, it's just a question. If there was advice to the contract and the governor arbitrarily went to do what he did, it means it and it was documented. He has questions to ask on that account. In the case of Lagos State now, the question to ask is, the House of Assembly, before the matter was even brought to the floor of Assembly, and before they said they come, but I don't even know. How did lawmakers tell the Ministry of
Okay, Dr. Folitile, nobody is attempting to speak. What's the word now? The case has gone to court, so we allow the court to do its job. But let's talk like the man at the bus stop. The man at the bus stop believes that governors will intervene in what goes on at local government level because when it is election time, he needs the local government chairman, right? Wrong?
Well, I think
So it pays him to oversight.
well, you see, there are lots of aberration here, right? Even this so-called oversight that we talk about is also an aberration, because that is the kind of oversight that leads to some levels of control, which also reduces autonomy or even removes autonomy. So really, I think it should be, I would prefer this to be viewed as a legal issue and to be decided so that we can really know. It's good to test, the case, but to really know what the law, the stand of the law on this matter,
what the law intended to achieve.
Yes, even though we know what the Constitution stipulates, because from our own perspective, looking at the Constitution alone, you will wonder why the State Assembly had to intervene in this matter in the first instance. And mind you, the issue at stake is not even an issue of maybe the welfare of the people per se. It's an issue that concerns a contract. So the State Assembly is saying, use this contractor. The local government chairman is saying, no, this contractor is not delivering, and people are complaining. It is even the local government that is talking about the people, because that contractor is expected to collect tax
that's it.
from the local community on behalf of the local government councils, and they are saying, no, we are using another contractor. And for using another contractor that works for the people, allegedly, that is the reason why the state assembly is saying no. You have to. You are suspended.
You cannot go here.
You cannot go there.
Yeah.
So you can see that obviously because of the aberrations that have been in the system, the House of Assembly has put it upon itself as the controller of local governments and all of that. And just because if we now allow the governor as the governor that leads the people and the grassroots to also now intervene in whichever way, because don't forget that as the governor needs the local government chair, he also needs the lawmakers at the State House of Assembly, because they can also impeach him. So where does this stand in the middle of all of those things?
Cyril, you know, at this point, it is not out of place to go back to that same bus stop, because the man at the bus stop is interested in knowing. I saw a road graffiti. It was written, "Waiting lawyers they do sell. What do lawyers live for?" So what do local governments live for? Of course, every market is under the local government. Every cemetery is. You have local government roads,
which they also seldom develop.
Good, because they've been starved of funds for a long time.
Yes, and so the Supreme Court, like a Daniel come to judgment, had said, look, let the funds to local governments go direct to them. So there will be no more excuses. So here we are up. Looks like we are deliberately climbing a high mountain.
Yes, but I will again borrow the analogy of copying, desiring the fruit of democracy, but not copying the process properly. America, largely, is a country that has a lot of judicial landmarks.
Okay.
They've developed, in fact, there's a sense in which you can track American democracy through the judiciary. You know what I mean? Landmark judgments, and these things are like they stay with them. The other day I was talking about the misevolution of the Nigerian state or of the Nigerian mind, of Nigeria or of the Nigerian collective. There's been a misevolution somewhere where the American Constitution Declaration of Constitution was written by the best minds, believing that they were writing for the worst minds. Yeah, that's how it was written. It was written by America's best, imagining America's worst. And today they've largely, what's the word, stood the test of time. But in our country, when you expect good men to stand up for goodness, they will not stand up. And over time, now somebody said that this was a kakistocracy. A government of the very worst citizens. A government of, I don't want to use the word that I want to mind, frankly speaking. A government of the worst. So in that case, you cannot be expecting any atom of good to come. In fact, at the very least, you will bring for a mitigation of the worst that will coming.
Cyril, but one thing cannot be lost on us, BC here. In a democracy, the rule of law is an underpinning requirement. If you go by the rule of law made by you, you are practicing democracy. Anything contrary to that is a kakistocracy.
To what extent do we follow the rule of law in Nigeria? That's the question.
What makes you wonder if we were made for laws or laws were made for us?
Yeah, but we act like people who are made for laws. The reason being this, because every day the Nigerian big man invents his own laws by which he lives. So he's made for his own laws. It's the way, you know, like the old saying goes, justice for the rich, the laws for the poor. Am I correct? Or the laws for the rich? Yes.
Yeah.
So that scenario is playing out in our land. Now you look at this. Assuming today, without considering that the courts ruled that said the state lawmakers were wrong, there is no consequence. You see, that's
because at that point somebody should be liable.
Look, not just liable, somebody has to pay, and a lot of time politicians pay their careers with their careers. It is where I'm going. before any action is taken, was legal advice sought and received? And what did the advice say? Or the advice has, what was the counsel that was received? If any leader goes against better counsel, why has he earned his right to live above the consequence of not taking the right counsel?
But it boggles the mind here. A speaker of any state is a number 3 citizen, just like the Senate president for the country. So the number 3 citizen is a potential number 2, and for that matter, number 1, if anything happens to the first 2 citizens. So obviously, a speaker is a personification of the governor at that state. So when we say our politicians have become Machiavellian, is it by choice, or is there somebody somewhere writing the script for us? If you understand my jargon.
I will say both. By choice, because there are also things that are put in place to check dictators. But are we using those things? So that is what I'm saying, by choice.
So we have enough laws to punish.
We have enough laws. We have
bad
enough
behavior.
laws. Yes, but are we applying the laws? Even now, as a country, I just read right now, that NNPC has increased fuel price again, right? So now they've increased fuel price
willingly.
Nigerians are taking it upon themselves willingly. I mean, if you continue to take it,
but the NNPC is the enemy of
but Nigerians are also taking it willingly. I am telling you, I didn't mean that the last one.
So you remember before we came on air, you made a statement which we are wont to make. It is well. It is not well.
Well,
hold on. We are not talking religion here. The late Malcolm X said, "What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong."
Yes, but for me and my family, it is well, and it shall be well. Because I cannot live outside my religion. Because if I go out of it, I will die, and I don't want to die. I don't want Nigeria to kill me. So I have to confess what I want to be for me. And that is why I say it is. So when you hear
hold on. No, don't.
It does not mean that it is not.
Don't take me there, because a religionist is a member of this society, and he or she is guarded and guided by laws set by the society.
Yes, and which must be obeyed.
Must be obeyed. If the law says don't cross the railway line, you cannot tell me that your religion empowers you to.
Exactly, you cannot. And that law, if you cross, that law should punish you.
Okay.
So that's what
at that point, it is not, if you cross, it is not well. That's where I am coming from.
Okay, if you cross, it is not well. You can't even claim that you are crossing because it is well in the first instance. That shouldn't be your basis for crossing.
Okay, I throw that in as a stupid spanner. I'm removing it. So let's begin to take this thing home.
Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is that when we have enough laws, but these laws are not just being applied.
Yeah.
And that is why we are here the way we are.
By choice.
By choice as a country. And also the fact that, you see, even in the US, where we copied that democracy from, they always talk about the people trying to take power from politicians. Let me tell you, the politicians will attempt to take the power from the people. That is the Machiavellian aspect.
Machiavelli was an Italian political theorist.
Exactly. So it is normal for politicians to want to withdraw the power of the people.
Okay.
It is the people that we insist will be at alert and ensure that power is not taken away from them. And you can see the way it's manifested in the US in their last election, when Donald Trump was reluctant to leave office, even when he has been declared the loser in that election. But because the law
for the first time in their history,
because the law is in place,
Yeah.
It's already there that
He was
what
checkmated.
you are supposed to do, if you don't do it after a certain number of days, somebody below you should do it.
Yeah.
And his vice did it. He did it.
Pence.
Yes, he did it for the country.
Yeah.
He assented to the papers that should be assented to, so that the democratic process will move on. So these are the things we are talking about, rule of law. These are the things that politicians can do anything. If it pays them, if they succeed, and it will increase their power and make the people to be subjected to them, they will continue to do it. It is you.
Yeah.
The people that will say no, you have to say that no, we are not going to allow you to get this done.
Yeah.
So it is good for this local government chairman to have gone to court. He was talking about the jurisdiction of that court.
Go and test the law.
I guess the man decided not to go to Lagos court, even though there is a high court in Lagos, because he's not sure. He's probably not sure of the kind of justice he may get from that place, and that is why he goes to the court that is of equal jurisdiction. High court is high court.
But BC, can you interrogate it? Some more. He's not sure of the kind of justice he might get.
Yes.
When there is a Supreme Court pronouncement on the matter.
Yes, you see, that Supreme Court pronouncement will be talking about financial autonomy. You understand? Because it is more about financial. It is more about financial autonomy.
So let's also broach this logic of financial autonomy. If I am financially autonomous of your control,
then
could you because
under decisions
I think that the pronouncement of the Supreme Court was even beyond that, because that whole section,
yes,
there is this talk about the fact that the state state government will not have any
power
to measure,
to remove or punish any local government
chairman for that matter. So but it's good he has gone to test. My take, you see, we've seen in Nigeria a court of justice has reversed itself. I'm trying to remember this substantive matter. During post-election last year, what they said about the president's certificate, or was it that of Vice President Shettima membership of the APC to was PDP to APC?
Yeah.
The Supreme, when the same matter, a similar case came up for the governor of Plateau State, the appeal court, which in his own case was the appellate court, while in the presidential case it was the court of first instance, ruled separately. In the case of Shettima, they ruled differently. In the case of Governor Caleb Mutfwang, they ruled separately. So we've seen this shenanigans happen. The point is that you took a case to court.
See, I talked about a script which we are playing out. Our politicians are merely actors.
I won't be surprised if this came from my.
So aren't you interested in who writes this script?
The first
the script writer.
The first problem I learned was that he who brings in and infested whatever happened today.
Yeah.
Should not be surprised.
Firewood.
Should not be surprised when Margos visit him at night. So we're monitoring this whole story closely. We hope that in the end, and enough upon Apollos.
Yeah.
My interest is democracy. And if a case like this will bring us closer to democracy and to the rule of law,
why not?
Why not?
Yeah. And again, BC, for 64 years now, we had tended to play the big brother in Africa. In fact, we claim, rightly or wrongly, we are the country to beat. But at 64, we are still toddling. Does this not make you become ashamed or scandalized?
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but like you said earlier on, it's by choice, because we are even supposed to take off from where others
are living.
And but look at what is even going on now. We are in the fourth industrial revolution in the world now. But where is Nigeria? in that space.
In that mix.
Yes,
That
we
ecosystem where like traveling for many years.
so where is Nigeria? So
We are not even playing catch up.
we are not. We
Yeah.
are. It's as if we are even going backward, and which is very unfortunate.
Farmers cannot go to farmers with hoe and shovel.
You can't even go to farm. So how do you now talk about AI and the rest? So it's just unfortunate. We are not supposed to be where we are, and it's all
So-
a function of leadership.
So, without meaning to sound like a broken record, if you hear me repeat this phrase by the late so-called first Antichrist, Napoleon Bonaparte, that in politics, stupidity is not a handicap. That's one. Two, Otto von Bismarck, the first Chancellor of Germany, said, politics is not an exact science, but sociologists will tell you it is a behavioral science. But we are behaving badly and inhumanly. It's crazy.
It is, and unfortunately, it's going to continue if nothing
done.
is done to stop it.
And
Yeah.
my
And not that the country is bereft of great minds. This country has produced some of the best minds in the world.
They are, but it can be frustrating. If you know the level of frustration that comes into even building Nigeria, even this job that we do, analyzing issues in Nigeria, do you know how frustrating it is
Yeah.
to keep talking about the same thing without seeing
Yeah.
any change? It's very frustrating. So for the good minds, the good brains, I mean, they can make it on their own. They can live well on their own without putting Nigeria's problems on their head.
And Cyril, to imagine that as we sit here, 3-4 Nigerians are actively involved in Joe Biden's government in America. One of them is the Undersecretary of Finance, more like saying assistant or shadow minister of finance.
Wale Adeyemo.
Yeah, you're
Because of course the point is that those are countries where they look at people who have a qualification,
and what they can bring to the table.
and who can offer value. I mean, a dear friend of ours, we always cite him. He went to Canada.
Yeah.
He was a radio presenter here, but he left and went to Canada with his family. He ran for office and became a councillor
In Canada,
in Canada. As I speak to you, the last time he said he was now on the board, a part of the board of directors of a university.
there.
You imagine when you have our president was appointing with due respect, Baba Oshoba to be on the board of chancellor of University of Ibadan, and he said the man gave the salaries to this. The point is that we're not moving with progressive ideas. We're not checking out how the world is evolving. That's him, and if you're in Nigeria, you won't even have smelt to join a party. But here, in taking this on, here things are the way they are because leaders have made it so. And to borrow Dr. Deji Foludile's words, even as a tranquilizer, why will I be following a failing system when I can simply tell myself that it is well to escape the depression, escape the frustration, escape. If God gives me a way of escape, I'll stick my neck for Jerusalem. That they have said that the person who lays the stone will lose his leg, and the one who comes to put the roof will lose an eye. What does that even mean? You have leaders. Look, you have leaders who have bought airplanes, who have bought beautiful cars,
Yachts.
who are buying yachts, rebuilding mansions that are not that where nothing do. Okay, spending millions on haircuts, spending millions on daily food,
Decoration.
on newspapers and decoration. Spending, people are killing to go to those places. I'm not interested. So allow me to stay in my cocoon, of
All right.
of faith. Let God bless me there.
Okay, folks, the debate will continue, but it does not stop us from doing our job. That is, leaving no stone unturned and leaving no turn unstoned. We thank Dr. Olabisi Deji Folutile for her intervention. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
We must keep working for our country. I guess we have no choice.
Uh,
Cyril Abaku, many thanks too.
My pleasure.
Let the debate continue. Is the state assembly of any state in this country allowed by law to interfere with what goes on at the local government level, even when we know there is a subsisting Supreme Court pronouncement on this matter? Until the next time, this is yours sincerely, Citizen Jones Hussein saying thank you. Bye-bye now.